What's up, fight fans, and welcome back to the Vegas Odds Recap Show for UFC 274. I'm your host, Garrett Kerman, and with me, as always, is my man, Joe Danger, Jesse Hobson. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, man. Just counting this money from this weekend. Got my boy Garrett Kerman in my ear, and so should you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great fight card, top to bottom. Very exciting. Unfortunately, we lost Joe Lozon and Donald Cowboy Cerrone due to, I think it was food poisoning that he had. Other than that, the fight card definitely delivered. But yeah, let's start off in the top. Obviously, we got to talk about the lightweight championship. What a banger of a fight between Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. Didn't even leave the first round, which is really not surprising. So yeah, what do you think about what did you think about the fight, and what do you think about Oliveira's performance?
Typical Oliveira, Charlie Olives doing his thing, gets knocked down, then chokes him out. It was very normal. I mean, it is what it is. I expected a little bit more from Gaethje. He basically did everything that he said Oliveira would do, and he gave up. Like he fought the hands, and then as soon as that choke was in, it was over. I just expected a little bit more fight out of him. I mean, good on you to not jump to his guard, but at the same time, dude, you had him stunned, dude. Just jump on him, finish him, or at least try to.
Oliveira looked amazing.
Yeah.
To be able to get knocked down and fight through adversity time in and time again, and still come away with the win is just, it's going to be impressive. It's extremely impressive. Now they're putting him in talks of arguably one of the greatest lightweight champions of all time. It's arguably possible. Obviously we're never going to see him fight Khabib, so it's kind of hard to say, but at least we might get Khabib 2.0 and see what happens there, because we can't really call Oliveira the best until he beats Islam, in my opinion.
Or until he beats, someone like Khabib like.
Right.
Khabib has said in the past, if Islam loses, he might make a return. I don't know. I don't see that happening. I don't see him ruining his legacy. To him, legacy is everything. And at this point, he not only has his legacy as a fighter, now he's working on his legacy as a coach, cornerman, a man within the sport, if you will. I think it would be that much more important to him to have, a champ that he guided all that way, at this stage in his career anyway.
The only logical fight after this is Islam. There's no one else that he should be fighting. There's just nobody. There's nobody else. No one in the top 5 that's worthy of fighting him. Islam has to be next. I know Oliveira's calling out Conor, and we obviously know why he's doing that. He wants to get his payday, and I get it. You want to get as much money as humanly possible. I said this time and time again, I wanted this to happen. Yeah. I wanted this to happen. Why? Because right now the line is steadily dropping on Islam. He opened as a -4, -500 favorite. Now it's dropping all the way down. Last I saw it was about -210, -200. I'm going to keep seeing it come down all the way to, I think it's going to settle around -140, -160, which is a absolutely beautiful line to bet on Islam. He's good enough on the feet, and he's going to take down Oliveira. He's going to be the first person to take him down, control him, not get subbed off his back, and absolutely just maul him. That type of top pressure is something that Oliveira has never had to deal with. And I will always take Khabib or an Islam against a jiu-jitsu practitioner like an Oliveira all day, every day of the week.
Yeah, I agree. And something that we talked about privately is, like, in all of these like weird ass MMA groups, everyone is very, very high on Charlie Olives, and rightfully so. But at the same time, it's like this great win, which, I mean, beating Gaethje is impressive, but quite a few people have beat him at this point, and it wasn't really typical Gaethje. Like, we didn't really have, it wasn't like a amazing fight in all reality, but also too, everyone is forgetting about Islam. So I would actually argue that once this fight does kind of become official, or once it kind of is marketed, everyone's going to pretend like they don't know who Islam is, or the casuals are going to, like, let's put $50 on the new Brazilian McGregor, like that. That's what's going to happen. And those $50, they do add up. And then you got guys like Drake, that are probably going to bet, olives as well, just because it's the cool thing to do. It'll be fashionable at the time, just like it is right now. Also, too, you mentioned Conor McGregor. I I think that might be a little bit as to why the belt got stripped. I think that they're trying to set up a little bit of a return, with the belt or the interim belt in play. And as much as I don't like it, because I do think the belt rightfully belongs in Brazil, it's definitely making things a lot more interesting. It's good for the sport, I guess you could say, but at the same time, it's like, dude, just give him his fucking belt. We know it's
Yeah.
his. He won in devastating fashion, and he did in the previous fight as well. So, yeah, we all know that it's his belt. So,
Yeah, I agree. Right now, he's on the top of the mountain. He's the king of the lightweight division until someone knocks him off his throne. And I'm looking forward to see what's next. Who's next? And yeah, whether he has that belt around his waist or not, everybody considers him, the lightweight champion, and rightfully so. He won fair and square. We know all the controversies surrounding the weight miss. So, you can't take anything away from him. He's still the champ in my eyes and everybody's eyes for the most part. In the co-main event, we have the strawweight championship up for grabs in one of the oddest fights that you will probably ever see. So, like, if you want to, bring a new fan into the sport of UFC, absolutely 1000% do not show them the fight between Carlos Barza and Rose Namajunas. I can honestly say I had no idea that was the kind of fight we were gonna get coming into this. Were you expecting a just staring contest for 25 minutes?
no, not at all. I have to agree. Like, this is something that most people would turn off. Yeah, I didn't expect this. I expected it to be a little bit of like dragging their feet, maybe round one, round two. Rose, like I said, in our breakdown, like, I thought that she was in the weirdest state that she's ever been in. And immediately as she walked out, she's like saying, I'm the champ, I'm the best, which, don't get me wrong, she's done that before, but it looked like she was trying to talk herself into it, like she didn't necessarily believe it. And then also, too, don't talk shit between rounds. You did absolutely nothing. And then you're going to talk shit and like stare your opponent down. It's so classless. Just fight your fight, do your thing, listen to your cornerman. Don't do it if you're not doing anything. It's very odd. It was like the whole thing was just like this big enigma. Like, I've seen fights where this does happen, but neither one of these women were really at a risk to be knocked out. Maybe you could argue that Rose could get like a weird head kick or something, but there's so much time between these two fights. Engage, for Christ's sake. I bet this fight live after round 3. I bet this fight live after round 4, and obviously I bet this fight pre-fight. So I'm happy with the outcome, and it was exactly what I expected.
Just like I was just waiting and waiting. I think everybody there was waiting and waiting. Hence why they were booing for 25 minutes. Like, all you heard was boos for 25 minutes. And guess what? The boos were happening after the fight too. So it's like you couldn't even hear Carla in the stadium. That's how loud they were booing. So, unfortunately, it was a dud of a performance by both. I don't know where it goes from here. I know Jessica Andrade is campaigning, talking a lot of crap about, Carlos Barza. Maybe she's next in line. Who knows? I really don't know. There's so many different ways they can go about it. Marina
Lee, JJ.
Yeah, Whaley, JJ, Marina Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one too.
I think Carlos Barza is going to give us a much better fight the next go around, though. I think she's going to be a lot better. I think she's going to be more aggressive. I expect her to do a lot more takedowns, and I think Rose will come back better as well. I don't know where she goes from here.
We'll see. I like Marina versus Rose, because if Rose can beat her in like devastating fashion, or at least show that she's willing to engage, it kind of gets her right back in that title talk again. Now, as far as Carla, I like the winner of Whaley and JJ, but yeah, I think that and then Andrade, you can throw her wherever you want.
Right.
Whoever hurts their leg, or she'll step in and take it, and then who knows, maybe she'll win, and then she's back in title contention again as well.
I
It
think I think it's Andrade's belt. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think she could beat anybody at 115 pounds. She's a tank. She's the whole package. I think she's gonna get the belt back. To be honest with you, let's keep it moving though. And man, this fight in the lightweight division between Chandler and Ferguson, what a knockout! Obviously, that's a knockout that we'll see forever, forever, ever, because that's arguably one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history. That front kick from hell was insane. I can say that I definitely did not see that coming because I believe that was the first time he's legit gotten knocked out in his career.
That's correct. I was really impressed with Ferguson, in round one, and then also too. I don't know if you saw this, but Charlie Olives reached out to him.
Yeah,
He
I
was
saw that.
really happy with his performance, and he offered him to come train with him, which Ferguson's pretty old. Like, what are you going to teach him that he doesn't already know? And
Right.
then he also has this kind of like weird training style. I'm not sure if the two of them will it's like oil and water or oil and vinegar. Like, it would be interesting to see them in the same facility.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really impressed with Michael Chandler. I would like to see Tony, if he wants to come back. I would like to see Tony fight Dan Hooker.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight because Dan's going back up to 155.
Very good performance from Chandler. Ferguson, pretty looked pretty good, but obviously we have a highlight tape. So
All right. But yeah, the next fight was an absolute snooze fest that put me to sleep. It so much put me to sleep that I completely slept through Chandler and Ferguson, and I woke up to the second round of the Rose and Carla fight, and I'm like, why did I wake up during this fight? I might as well just kept sleeping throughout this one.
I really had a hard time scoring this fight. I'm not sure who won because they both had their moments, I guess, if you want to call them that. But like kind of like you said, if anyone lost, it was definitely the fans. Like it was not a good fight. I would
No.
argue actually that the co-main was a little bit more entertaining, just because like I had way more on the line. I wonder what happens with these guys now, because
Well, I mean, Shogun should retire,
yeah,
and OSP should also retire.
it sucks too, because I mean I've been watching these guys since I was little.
Yeah, but the main card opener was an absolute banger between Randy Brown and Chaos Williams. I was definitely looking forward to this fight, almost more than any other fight because I knew it was going to be such a good fight. And we were able to cash on Randy Brown as an underdog. I think he looked the best he's ever had. He was able to keep this fight at distance. He got knocked down a couple of times, but who doesn't against Chaos Williams? That dude has got some insane power. But other than that, he looked great. He was able to use his jab, use his reach. The length was just too much for Chaos. And I'm surprised it was even a split decision, to be honest.
Yeah, the judges were kind of all over the place. It was almost like they wanted to prove to the other judge that they could call a fight, worse. Randy, but he plays around a lot, and
Yeah.
it's almost like he has kind of like a big mouth mentality in there sometimes. Yeah, like, we know you're good, like, but you can't put your arms down,
Yeah.
like, and I get that that's kind of his style. He has his arms down and he brings them up real quick. Yeah, his jab looked better than it's ever looked before. I was literally saying beautiful out loud to myself, like, because it was a work of art. But you can't do that against Chaos Williams, because he will catch you just like he did. And then especially in round three, he has nothing to lose at that point, dude. And Randy was getting caught, and it obviously it wasn't, you know, the right punch. But I think that that's my only critique is he does use his length very well, but I am afraid that one of these days he is going to get caught, and it'll be one of the days that I bet on him. So
I know.
I mean, there is an argument for Chaos because Randy Brown was playing too much, but I mean, in all reality, Brown won the fight.
Absolutely. So as far as the prelims goes, the fighters that kind of stood out to me were Brandon Royval against Matt Schnell. That was impressive. That arming guillotine that he did was just crazy because he had it without even locking it up. He had one arm in and didn't need to like attach it. He did it at the end. He went palm to palm, but he had it to the point where Schnell was already tapping at that point, and then once he cinched it, he was double tapping because the ref did not see it. That was impressive.
Yeah, I have to admit I actually fell asleep, which sucks because I'm a huge Matt Schnell fan. But from what I had heard online was that he tapped before it was even like fully in place. Which
No, that's not true. He had it in one arm in, but the thing is with Brandon Royval, he's super skinny and he's super bony. So when he slips that in under your neck, it's like, it's just bone to your throat. There's no meat. So he's able to slip it in, and it's so bony, it's just like bone to neck, and you could just tap you out just that way. He already had it cinched in at that point, and then once he went palm to palm, it was over. It was all she wrote.
Well, and like we talked about, I think he's improving and he's putting in the work, and that's a huge step up in competition. Like Royval is I mean, he's going places. We'll put it like that.
As far as the other fighters that stood out to me, obviously Andre Fialho, who with that check lift took and absolutely deaded Cameron Van Camp very easily. I was like, that was a no-brainer. There was no way that Van Camp was going to come out victorious in that fight.
It was like you know how you hold like a puppet, like a marionette, and then like it was like you drop the puppet or like release the strings, and his whole body just like caved in. Like it was perfect. And I was looking at some old photos of him, and I mean he's in the best shape of his life. So I don't know what the hell he's doing, but it's working. So
yeah, he's looking good
on that diet plan.
And then probably the last one I want to talk about is Lupi Godinez. What a stud. She's so good. Future contender. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for her. But, man, she absolutely mauled Ariana Conolosi. That was just a thing of beauty. She beat the snot out of her from bell to bell, from second to second in this fight.
Honestly, though, Conolosi is really not that great. But the way that Lupi did it was impressive. Also, too, another thing to think about is we got a still of a line with minus 180. The way she handled business like that for 15 straight minutes, this woman went to work. So it's nice when a women's MMA fight works out in your favor. You know, they go in and do what they're supposed to do. So, yeah, props to her. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next.
That's our recap show for UFC 274. Guys, you need to go and like and subscribe to the Vegas Odds YouTube channel. But my man, Jesse Hobson, where can everybody find you before we get going?
Look me up on YouTube, Jesse Hobson.
And guys, we will see you all next week.